All right, so Christiane here, and I am about to lead you in a Iyengar inspired little practice to see how alignment helps you invite more space into the body and the mind. For this practice, your yoga mat will be helpful, although not necessary. A chair, you might find that to be interesting, although if you are just starting out with the practice of asana, the physical aspect of yoga, I'd say do without the chair because this chair, the position that we're going to be using is it could be a little tricky. But those of you who have been practicing for a while will find it to be uh, 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 an interesting way to explore the body in simple poses that you may be accustomed to. And also you see here a blanket. All right, so once you have all that, go ahead and join me in, first let's take the chair, if those of you who have it, and let's turn it upside down. And if you have a wall near you, you may want to put the head of the chair up against the wall because you will find more stability in that way. But if not, just make sure that it's a little bit in from the yoga mat so that you have less of a chance of the chair sliding. But the chair in this position, it is quite tricky. That's why I say if you're just really getting started with bringing awareness in the body, then do without the chair. Okay, you can do all these things that we'll be doing without the chair. So here we'll begin by opening up the back body. And what better way to do that than with the calf muscle? For that is one tight area. So place one foot. Actually, maybe you even want to stand closer to the chair and place one foot on the chair. If you're not using the chair, you can just lift one foot up at an angle, imagining a chair down underneath you. And in here, you may experience quite a bit of sensation through the area of the calf. That's fine. Just breathe into that. You don't want to make it so that you're digging in so far that it's painful. You just want to go to those places where there's tightness and invite a breath in. And if you feel that you can go a little further, go ahead and come into Ardha Uttanasana, half forward fold. And here you may find that indeed the tightness increases a bit, right? So just again, breathe into that. And then if it's there for you, take the opposite hand right in front of the foot so that you're nice and stable on the chair. And then take your free hand and you massage the muscles in this horizontal fashion from the inside out. Okay, so your muscles are running long ways, right? And you're going to massage it in just the opposite way so that you can release some of that tension. You can start right at the area of the calf. Don't know if you can quite see this, but more interesting is for you to explore on your own and notice its effects with time that will continue to expand. Go ahead and go all the way up to where the hamstring and the glute attaches, and then roll it back down. Just this is enough to begin to open the back body, especially if you're doing this in the morning, right? When there is a little bit more stiffness naturally. And then once you've run up and down at least once, then take both hands to either side of the chair. Again, if you're using the chair, and then scoot that left foot back. This time placing your right hand onto a handle of the chair. You may find that you can take the hand all the way down to the seat of the chair. The idea here is that if you're using the chair, you're pressing the foot onto the back of the chair and you are pulling with the arm because we do want the leg very much engaged, right? So if you're just on the ground, you can again recreate this. So from the inner groin of both legs, send Send your intention out into the inner heel of both legs. And then pulling with the arms so that you can facilitate a little bit of space here along the side, the waistline and the abdomen on that side. So use your left hand to encourage the abdomen to lift up a bit. We'll work with the arms in a moment. And then from here, why not bend the leg? Move into the Parsvakonasana, the side angle pose, again with that intention of the inner groin moving into the inner knee. Otherwise, the knee will buckle in a little bit, and that will prevent you from opening from a place of greater alignment. So inner groin to inner knee into the inner heel, pressing again onto the chair. And then using the hand once more to create some space for the side body. And then here, if you want to use the arm, bend the arm in and take that full pose. So Parsvakonasana, extended angle pose. So from your left heel to your left fingertips, one nice strong line here. Opening up, revolving. And then from this, go ahead and move into your Trikonasana. And now come back for a moment and see to it that as you straighten the leg, you're straightening from the hip socket. Do your best to do that. So the femur bone is extending from the beginning, from its attachment through the hip, all the way down into the heel. And then from here, go ahead and face the chair. So both hands come onto either side of the chair, and then nudge that back foot in slightly. The foot stays at an angle, and here you move towards Parsvakonasana. But first, just Ardha position to encourage that right hip to move up and back. So you are doing a forward fold here again. And then if it's there for you, go ahead and fold all the way down. Engage the tops of the thighs. That will help you a lot. And breathe. And then as you're ready, come back halfway through. Take a moment there. Walk that back foot in and step that right foot out. And then just come into Uttanasana for a moment. Come into your forward fold and notice the difference between the two legs. It may be that you're experiencing a lot more freedom on that right side. Yeah. And then from here, bend the legs. And take your hands on either side of the handle like so. Walk your feet as far back to the end of the mat as you can and lift your heels up. Put more of your weight back towards the glutes. And then from here, as you engage the outer thighs, as you engage the legs completely, allow the torso to be freed up from the pelvis as it moves forward. Make sure that you stay connected in the area of the shoulders. So lift the armpits up a little bit and towards and move them in the direction of the fingertips, while simultaneously drawing the tips of the shoulders back towards your hips. And then from there, you may choose to straighten the legs and come into a variation of Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. And as you feel ready, walk your way in. Bend your legs, come into standing. Notice how that feels. And we'll do the other side. I'm going to turn the chair over, but you can stay right as you are, just so that you can have a little easier time seeing the work. Okay? So then from here, just as we did on the other side, let's start with that left foot on the chair. And if there's no chair, just lifting the foot up so that you can encourage that nice opening of the calf. If there's a lot of sensation here, just stay with this. But as we did on the other side, maybe as you did on the other side, go ahead and fold halfway through. Notice how that feels. You may even feel that you can walk that back foot in a little closer. But do keep the legs straight. When you bend the leg, you're still going to get some of your calf muscles, but not all of them, not the one that attaches all the way to the hamstring. So since we're working with that whole full line of the back body, we want the legs straight here. And ideally, we want to engage through the tops of the thighs as well. So then just breathing here. And as we did on the other side, take the opposite hand to the chair, right where the foot is. So more in the center, right? Because this is wobbly. So center of the chair is the hand, center of the chair is the foot. And then take the opposite hand and massage from inside out, horizontally, as where the muscle is moving vertically, all the way up to that area where the hamstring and the glute attaches. That area gets really, really tight, and so causing a lot of havoc for the lumbar. And then massage it all the way back down through the calf again. Breathing. And then as you feel ready, take both hands to either side of the chair and walk that right foot back. Give yourselves a nice long stance here and give you more stability. And then one hand could be at the base of the chair. Maybe that's too low at first, or maybe halfway through. The idea here, you're using the prop to remind you of how much you want to engage the leg and to how much you want to keep that bottom side of the torso free. Right? So no need to use the prop. Just envision that without it. Or with it, use it to register so that when you're not using the prop, it's there for you. And again, with that top hand, just encouraging the abdomen from the left side to lift. So there's a rotation going on here. There's a spiraling going on here. And then maybe you find that that gives you more space to come down lower. So again, engaging from the tops of the thighs, broadening through the shoulders. The back of the neck is free, it's open. And then let's go ahead and bend the leg, but bend the leg from the hip socket as we discussed before. So from the inner groin, you lengthen out to the inner knee. So that outer glute is really engaged, it's drawing in. And then from here, press into that back leg as well. Top of the thigh is engaged. This is a very powerful pose, yeah? And then drawing that top arm in and extend all the way up. Parsvakonasana. So then here you can look up. Go for the full pose. Breathe. And then when you're ready, Trikonasana, triangle pose. And as you're ready, come around for Parsvakonasana. You do want to narrow that stance a bit, so take both hands so that you're nicely secure here. Nudge the foot in, angle the foot, and then as you're ready, fold forward. You need to move it in a little bit further. Make sure that you're not collapsing onto that left hip. The left hip lifts up and back, and the torso just hangs over. I like to have my forehead touching onto the prop if it's there, if it's available. It's a nice soothing thing to do. And maybe the arms rotate and face one another. Breathe here. Again, lifting up that left outer hip and allowing the torso to just release from that. Engage in the tops of the thighs will always help you release the hamstrings more, the backs of the legs. And then as you're ready, bend that top leg. Place your hands on either side for stability. And then step the back foot in, step that top foot out. And fold forward here just to see now if both sides are happier. Not just one really tight and one really open. You know, of course, both sides are slightly different, right? One is tighter but stronger, and the other is a little bit more flexible but also a little bit weaker. So just acknowledging where we are and working with that. And then bending the legs deeply. Placing the hands to the inside of your chair. Palms are flat and open. And then walk back. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Right here, the way this chair lands on me, it's encouraging my upper arm to lengthen up. And so it's a beautiful reminder to stay engaged through the arms as well as the legs. Breathe. And as you're ready, go ahead and bring your knees down. So the invitation for you here, if you use the chair, is to repeat the sequence without a chair and see how that served you. If you did it without the chair and you've had enough, then the invitation is to go into a releasing practice. You can find one of my previous videos on that and just letting go. Yeah. So all the effort of alignment, of engaging the muscles, all of that can be let go so that the body can discover more space in a more subtle way, in a more passive way. So those are the invitations as you move forward from here. In either case, we thank you for spending this time with me. Namaste. Take good care.